recorded live right here in Little Rock, Arkansas. It's time again for Larry's Rants, Raves, and Reviews. And now here is Larry.
Well, folks, we are back for round two with our friend Shawn Fason from G6 Security. And on this show, what we want to do is just kind of delve into how to make our lives a little bit more secure, paying attention to our own security. I'm big on self-security. You know, you always have seen all of our lives the police insignia on the side, here to serve, protect, and all of that. And I'm like, no, you're not. You're here to clean up the mess and do the paperwork. Okay, so, and that's not a slam against police officers, because I love police officers. I respect them greatly. But the reason I carry a gun is because they're not around, and I can't afford a team of yours like you have. So maybe you could give us some insight of just some common everyday mistakes that people do when they go out to eat, maybe at their home, different things that, hey, folks, don't do this, try to do this, and maybe you can give us a few insights. But one question before we get into that is, how many people, when you are hired to go and be at an event, how many people on average do you employ and put in there? And I'm sure it varies.
It varies, but we'll just say a rally. We'll just use that for example, a rally of, say, less than 2,000 or less.
Okay.
We'll just use that number. Usually 5 people, very well-trained people.
Okay.
If I don't have the well-trained people, it's going to be more, because I'm going to have to I want to make sure I cover my points. Maybe 7 people, but usually I use my best people for those, to make sure that we have all points covered. And all ingress, egress points, and all those, we've done our risk assessment, we've done our behavioral analysis of what's going on, we know the environment. There's a lot of pre-work that goes into that, because I want to know where I'm at.
Right.
If I'm going to, I'll give this an example, if I'm in Memphis, there's a lot going on in Memphis right now, right?
There is.
Oh, yeah.
So my risk assessment there, my behavior analysis is going to be a little different than I went to a rally in Greenbrier. It's not a racial thing. The violence is different.
Sure.
Right, the violence in Greenbrier is non-existent, really. Now there's other crimes and all that, but how many murders have been there, right? So, but you have to take all that in consideration. But usually a 5-man team can protect in a 2,000 less environment like that. But if it's not high-profile people, it might be able to do it with less. But any high-profile, high target value targets, 5 people minimum.
Okay. Yeah. And most of your people are either police officers or retired police officers. Is that correct?
Retired police, active police officers, and military and retired military.
Oh, okay.
Most of our people have sometimes a combination of both.
Yeah.
Which is really nice when you get both, because, it's good to have somebody who knows law enforcement and military.
Mm-hmm. My kids live in Frisco, Texas, and we go down there all the time, and I talk about them all the time. But we were down there this last weekend, and we were watching some TV and just visiting and talking about different things. And I was talking to my son-in-law, and I said, I used to travel an awful lot, and of a morning, I would never get up and turn on the TV. I'm just not one to get up and turn the TV on. I'm one to get up, get in the shower. I got to drag my body in there, and fling it in there and try to get woke up and get going. And I would literally pack my belongings and get out of the hotel room and, go on to my sales calls. And I said, I never turned on a TV of a morning except for one place, and that was in New Orleans. Anytime I went to New Orleans, this is how mean and bad New Orleans really is. I would turn on the TV because I was in industrial sales, and I would turn on the TV and watch the local news.
Sure.
Not national, but I wanted local. I wanted to see how many murders there were in that night, and actually see if I had been there.
Yeah.
And I kid you not, there were multiple times that I'm like, oh my God, that's the bridge. That's the intersection I drove through yesterday, and you knew, get in there, make your sales calls, and then get out of there, because you didn't stay there after dark.
Right.
I didn't even let it get even late in the afternoon. It was like, Larry's getting out of here.
Don't blame Larry.
And so, and he thought it was humorous because I said New Orleans was the only city. Memphis, I would go into Memphis and make my sales calls and turn around and drive back.
Yeah.
I would
and
not.
out.
I hated Memphis. I still do.
Yeah, not a
Are
minute.
they getting ready to have all the National Guard there?
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, they are. There's a
Like
reason.
it or not,
There's
here
a
they
reason
come.
for that,
There's
right?
a reason, and they were requested.
Yes.
They were requested. They said, if Trump, you can do what you did in Washington, we'd love to have you come here. They're
But
not
you know,
idiots.
the mayor is not. He doesn't want them. The mayor.
No.
He was on. But you know.
Oh, I thought that the mayor did want them. It's just the governor.
No. Yes,
the
yes,
governor,
yes,
yeah,
yes.
something
But
Oh,
let me
I
tell
stand
you,
corrected.
and they said it on one of the news interviews, that if the crime rate goes down so much, and that's come down some, it's come down some.
Yeah.
But if it goes down much, we're going to lose that federal funding.
Oh.
It's hey, what's my main phrase? Follow the money.
Follow the money.
Follow the money.
That's it.
That's
Okay.
If the crime rate goes down so much, they'll lose that federal funding. They don't want the crime to go down
Seriously.
because they lose that federal money.
Yeah, and it's sad, but it's true. It's true, and it's sad.
Wow. Now, what you just witnessed there was I'm the beauty of the show and he's the brains. Did you see all of that?
I did see that. That was
Okay,
pretty cool.
All right.
Can I tell a New Orleans story, a security New Orleans
Please
story?
do.
I think you'll appreciate
Is it as good as the wedding?
It's actually maybe a little bit
Tune
better.
in last week for the wedding.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's right.
So you talking about New Orleans? We did a job down there, actually, in New Orleans. The hurricane come through. It wasn't the big one. It was the one last 5 years, 6 year, whatever it was. Wasn't the huge one anyway, but it knocked out power down there.
Okay.
And Costco hired us to come in there. They were the only ones in that area that had power, that generators running 24/7.
Okay.
So they hired and I was we was kind of with another company too, partner anyway. They hired us to come in there to guard it. Okay. And it was a 12-man team. So that tells
Okay.
you a lot right there, right?
Wow.
12-man team in New Orleans
For a Costco?
for a Costco.
Wow.
And Costco told us, and this is just a side note to this story you'll like. Costco told us if they're walking out with them, let them have it. We don't care. They didn't have us there for theft.
Wow.
They're walking out with TVs and everything else. They're letting them go. We were there to protect the people. They had the only running gas service in New Orleans for 3 days. And everybody lined up to get gas there. And they want us to protect the people, okay? No problem. We had the biggest traffic jam you'd ever seen in your entire life. Everybody coming to that Costco to get gas. The news showed up, and it was like 16 miles long the traffic was. They showed up and wanted to know how we were moving that traffic. We were routing them through places, getting them in there, getting gas, neatest thing. But that's not the cool part of the story. The cool part of the story is we're stuck on that compound of Costco. We're sleeping in our vehicles. There's no hotels, no food, no nothing. Costco's just giving us food and stuff. We decided we're going to branch out a little bit. We're going to go outside the Costco area. I've never been to New Orleans in my life. So I have my Tahoe then, and it's blacked out, and it looks like a CIA vehicle. It really does. As a matter of fact, they think it is a Marshal vehicle.
Yeah.
So we had our bunch in there. We've got all weapons, there's 4 of us in there. We decided to go take this little drive. We drive right past Costco, and I don't know my roads down there, I'll be honest. It's just right past Costco, literally 2 blocks, I'm saying. And there was a hooker on this corner. And we pull up to this stop sign. I rolled down. I'm just trying to be funny because it's been just a miserable time, right?
Yeah.
So I rolled down my window, and they're like, hey, basically flirting with us.
Yeah.
And on that same block is a 7-Eleven. Okay, so you have the hookers on this corner, 7-Eleven on this corner. It's all right there together. They're wanting to give us, you know what? And I make a joke like, "Nah, we're good. We're just a bunch of white boys. We're good." Making it fun. They laughed. And on that same block, they had kicked the wind out in that 7-Eleven they were stealing. And so we had a hooker on one corner, a break-in on the other. We literally took that Tahoe and we turned around, and they all just run at that Tahoe. And I just gassed it, said, I ain't leaving Costco. I went back to Costco, and I never went past Costco the whole time I was there. I was there for 2 weeks.
Oh, absolutely.
Because I've just never seen that before, right? You got hooked on the same block as you got robbery happening in the store. And that's how bad it was.
It's all happening.
And it's like gunshots were going on. Cops would show up to Costco and be like, you guys are armed, right? They'd ask us, are y'all armed? Well, yeah, we're not out here unarmed.
Right.
He goes, y'all know understand the rules of engagement, right?
Right.
Well, like, yeah, if you're shot at, shoot back. He goes, no, you're going to be shot at. It's just how bad it's going to be. Take care. Have a good night. That's how bad it was in New Orleans during that time.
Yeah.
Murders were happening, shootings were going on. Anyway, I just thought I'd give my little New Orleans. I've never been back since, and I don't have any inclination to go back.
That's the way D.C. was, and they cleaned it up. D.C. was bad.
Trump needs to send that National Guard down there to New Orleans.
Well, now
I think
he talked
it's on
about
his
that.
list.
Yeah.
It's on his list.
It's unreal down there.
You know,
It
was
is on the list.
Chicago. I think he took Chicago off.
Chicago, he said, hey, if they don't want them, if they don't want us to help, then forget it.
Yeah,
he
we're
said, we're
gone.
not going to go in
Yeah.
to a hostile environment where they're
Right.
going to fight us on it. We're
Right.
going to go to cities that actually want us.
Right.
That's why I kind of thought that the Memphis mayor
yeah,
wanted
no.
them. So just,
governor,
but
not
the
the
governor
mayor.
certainly does.
Yeah, the governor definitely does. want it.
Okay.
But the mayor, I've seen him come out live. He does not want it.
Well, in New Orleans, I used to go down there quite a bit on business, and I would take somebody that said, hey, I've never been to New Orleans. I would take them down to Bourbon Street. Okay. I don't know why I wouldn't go today, but I did back then. And I would take them and tell them, okay, now this is how I do Bourbon Street. I'm going to park down here, and we're going to go down the middle of Bourbon Street. Do not go towards either side of the street. Walk in the middle of the street only. We're not going to go in any shop. You can see however much you want of it, okay? And when we get to a certain place and you say, okay, Larry, I've seen enough, we're going to turn back around and go back and cut through the park, which is still unbelievable that I did that even back then. And we'd go over and have some beignets, okay? Well, I got this one kid that's working for me. He's probably mid-20s, and he's an inside salesperson in a company that I used to own, and he lived in Conway. That kid went into a coma. I mean, he was walking down the middle, and he's like, I mean, his eyes were as big as saucers. His mouth had fallen open. He didn't utter a sound. And I'm like, and I just remembered his name, but I won't use it.
I know him.
You might know him, okay? I'll tell you off the air. And so the one bar that has the swing, the transvestite that's on the swing that swings out of the, okay.
Yeah.
He stood there and watched that guy swing, that she swinging for I don't know how long. And then somehow he got into one of the shops. And I'm like, oh my God, I've lost him and I can't go back to Arkansas without him, okay? So anyway, I found him and got him out of there. And I said, I told you not to go in the shops. He goes, yeah, but this guy come out and he wanted to show me this stuff. And I'm like, okay, we're leaving. So I think we even skipped the beignets and the coffee that night. We just said, okay, let's get out of here. So anyway, well, let's get back to our thought on hand. I am extremely big on self-security. I don't leave my security up to nobody. Shawn, if you get to know me very well, and I said this on a podcast with a concealed weapons person earlier, I don't leave my security up to anyone. I do everything I can to make myself secure, including, and I'll just say it again, if your pastor says you can't carry a gun in church, change churches. There's other churches. And I guess if you can't find one, I can give you a couple of recommendations of some people that you can watch live on YouTube, okay? And they have really good churches. In fact, I attend one. But anyway, beyond that, give us some ideas. What are the mistakes that you see people commonly make every day of their life? What would be like, say, your number one?
Oh, number one would be somebody who doesn't have weapons or whatever. So I'm going to go with just somebody that's kind of frivolous in their security.
Okay.
Be somebody who is distracted easily by technology.
Okay.
I think that's the number one cause of kidnappings. Number
Okay.
one cause. I don't have any statistics to back this up, but I mean, from what I can tell, it's definitely at the top 5. People are distracted by their technology, by music, loud things, and it's usually in their ear pods,
Right.
things like that. Those kind of things does not allow you to have situational awareness. They distract you from the situation around you, and partly that's what they're there for. Like AirPods, obviously you want to listen because you want to listen to what you want to hear.
Right.
I get that. So you're trying to drown out the world around you, but you don't want to be in a car going to a restaurant at night I'm just going to set a scenario here. Going downtown Little Rock, just use Little Rock. I'm going to go downtown. I'm trying to think flying fish. What's down there by the flying fish?
I love flying fish.
I do
Use
too.
it.
I eat there. So go to the flying fish at night, and you don't need to be distracted.
No.
I mean, the environment's not, it's not a safe environment.
Right.
I'm not trying to say that you're going to get caught or kidnapped, but it's not a safe environment. So you need to make sure you got all your faculties and you've got you're in total focus. You know your surrounding. You don't have AirPods in. You don't have your phone. You're just watching your surroundings. And you park somewhere best you can. It's hard when you get down there where it's lit up, where there's lights.
Right.
Try not to park in dark areas and then turn your technology off if you have to. I think technology and distraction of AirPods and things like that are the #1 cause of somebody not being safe.
I see people every day of the world coming out of Kroger, out of Walmart, you name it. They're walking across walking across the parking lot. They're looking at their phone. They're not paying attention. They have no earthly idea who is on that parking lot with them and what they're doing.
Yep.
And I'm like, how stupid are you? You have to have awareness of your surroundings and what's going on. Am I correct?
You're absolutely correct. And I want to tell you something else you said I really liked, Larry, that I want to reinforce because I think it was a good point you made. And I think it's a very good point. I think your listeners need to hear this. I'm a cop. I'm not against police. I'm all for law enforcement, right? Doing the right. There's always a bad apple in every bunch, but I'm for law enforcement. But when they arrive at the scene, it's over. It's cleanup duty.
Boy, there you go.
So, in not every case, but a lot of cases, more than not.
Right.
And you need to have your own security, your own plan, what you're going to do as a family. That's something else I was going to say is have you a plan with your family.
Yep.
This is what we're going to do. These are words we're going to use.
Yeah.
We see something we don't necessarily, it jives with us. We have a word we're going to use.
Code word.
Yeah, that's right. And we're going to go and we're going to get out of there. And we're going to go together. We're going to always stay together.
Okay.
And I like how you have the weapon because I'm a big weapons guy.
Absolutely.
But here's a #2. I'm going to give you #2 problem if I got a minute.
Okay. You got a minute.
It's somebody that don't have the right holster or the right weapon. So what I mean by that is I've got a gun on, right? And I've got it outside, but I carry them on the inside too. That depends on where I'm at. But if you can't get to your holster and you don't know how to holster your weapon and get it out, it's no good to you. And there's been a lot of people get kidnapped and hurt because they don't know how to use their weapon. They don't know where the holster is. They can't find the holster. And so if you're going to carry a weapon, which I'm all for, I'm 100% pastor certified, carry a weapon. People carry weapons, open carry in our church.
Right.
I'm good with that. Carry a weapon, but train with that weapon. Understand how it works and operates and understand. Get in front of a mirror, unload it, completely unload it. Get in front of the mirror, draw from it constantly.
Right.
You know, and those kind of things matter in a situation because you're sitting in your car and a guy walks up to you, going to carjack you, and you've got that holster on. If you don't know how to get to that gun, it's too bad for you. You know, people's been carjacked and they had weapons.
Oh, yeah.
They just overrun them. So, you know, that's something too. Keep your doors locked, obviously. Wherever you're at, keep your doors locked. But always when you're sitting in a vehicle in your environment, I've always got my hand near my gun. Not on it, but near it.
And I can tell you, when I get in the car, I pull my shirt up and tuck it behind my holster. I open carry everywhere I go when I'm driving. Because if you're going to come up and try to carjack me, you're getting a gun in your face.
Yes, and you see what I'm saying, though. If that shirt's in your way, you know, it's panic anyway because we are not trained. I'm not either.
Yeah.
I'm not a Navy SEAL. Those guys know how to, they don't panic in situations. But me and you as normal, average citizens, we have a fight, flight, or freeze, and most of us freeze. That's our brain does that. We panic, we freeze. And so you've got to, that's a #3. You got to train yourself to breathe, not panic.
Right.
Breathe. Don't freeze.
Right.
Fight or flight, right? Don't freeze. And that's very difficult to do in a hot scenario is not to freeze.
I'm pretty good at keeping a level head and not freezing up or, you know, I'm pretty good at that, actually.
Are you? Okay. I just had to do that.
Why? Why?
No.
No?
We go to dinner with you every Wednesday night. We know, Larry. Okay,
I don't
go ahead.
freeze.
No, you don't. No.
No,
Go ahead. Go.
Does he have his hand on his gun the whole time?
Pretty much.
You got a 6-shooter, you know he's ready.
Oh, he's waiting.
Well, but, you know, and on another show that we talked about this very scenario is I never sit in a restaurant with my back towards the door.
Right.
Very good.
Never.
Very good.
Never. It won't happen.
Very good.
I'll just not. I'll stand up if I have to.
Yeah.
I'll stand up and eat, or I'll just leave because you're not going to put my back to the front door. If there's a problem, come to the front door. I want to be the first one to see it.
Yep.
Because let's say, for instance, if I'm sitting there and there's 4 people at the table and I know I'm the only one that really has a gun, I'm going to be the one to see what's going on first.
Yeah,
okay.
absolutely.
And I will de-escalate that problem in the best way I know how. So I want to be first.
So are you one of those? And I'm this guy. So you
Randy's
know,
over there mocking
yeah,
me.
he's making jokes on you.
You got it, Barney. Go ahead.
I like it. So
I got to get my bullet out of my pocket.
You got your one. So another thing I would say real quick is, you just kind of brought it up, is I know my environment situational, have my weapon where I can get to it. I have a knife. I always tell people, have a good knife. You can do a lot of damage with a good knife. I can kill you quicker than a knife if you can a gun. But that's not it. When you're going somewhere, you need to know about that place.
Yeah.
Know you sit, like you say, because I don't. My wife says she hates that we live in fear. We don't live in fear. We live in concern. There's a difference.
I live prepared.
That's right. I'm not afraid of what they can do. They need to be afraid of me.
That's right.
And so I want to know everything about the place I'm at. So I'll Google it. I'll find out information. I'll try to figure out where the exits are, egress, ingress points.
Yeah.
And you can't just walk through the whole building. But if you ever go with me to a restaurant, which I dare y'all to go, Monty makes fun of me because he don't care anything about this. I'll walk through the back of the kitchen if I have to. I want to see where that exit is. I want to know where that exit door is. Because if I have to take my family and it's the front door's covered, I want to know I have an exit back there.
Okay.
And there's many places, that you can't get out that door. And so I want to know, is it locked? Is it open? What is it? So I know it's kind of funny and it's a little bit extreme. My wife calls me extremist, but I want to keep I want to keep other people safe, right?
One day she may have to say thank you.
Yeah,
Mr.
she hadn't had to
Extremist.
yet, but she may one day.
Right.
You make sure and tell her that next time you say your husband's not completely crazy.
You can go a whole lot of places, and this thought just flashed in my head at a church that we used to attend, Randy. I'm sitting there, and all of a sudden, this weird, tall, skinny, bearded, unkept guy comes over and jumps over the back of the pew and sits down beside my sister. And he starts taking his Bible and he's ripping pages out of it, licking them and slapping it on the back of the other pew in front of him and sticking. And all of a sudden I look down and I'm like, what is going on?
Well, that's different.
Yeah.
Did you take care of him?
Well, I was prepared. And of course, the head usher, his name's Rick. That's all I'll say. He come down and whispered in my ear, and he goes, "Hey, we know that guy. His name's Clyde, and don't get too excited here. We've got a couple of people, and any time that Clyde came on the premise, they were notified. They radioed, said, "Hey, Clyde's here," and they would watch him. And so when he came down, there, unbeknownst to me, there were 2 guys that came right down behind him.
Yeah.
But he was an old war vet. And he suffered a lot of mental, anguish and all. And so they couldn't get too close, but they had to be close enough. My sister sat there and I thought she was going to pass out. I mean, Cheryl was like almost passing out at the time. And I just leaned over to Carol and said, "Hey, tell Cheryl we've got it all under control. Everything's good." And he only lasted a couple of, 5-6 pages and, a few minutes. And he whipped back over the back of the pew and out he went.
Wow.
Okay.
That's pretty extreme.
Yeah, it is. And, but you never know where you're at.
Right.
Yeah.
You really don't know what's going to happen. Everybody thinks it'll never happen to me. That'll never happen to me. Folks, you don't know that.
No, you do not. I mean, and look where days we're living in today.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's a whole different ball game than when I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, we left doors unlocked. My grandpa's door was never locked.
Yeah.
I mean, not anymore. I mean, he's dead. There's no way he would have an unlocked door today. But point being is times have changed. It's a lot. I don't want to be what do you call it, Chicken Little, sky's falling. My wife says, please don't be on that podcast, Chicken Little. The sky's falling. The sky's not falling. God's still in control.
That's right.
It's no doubt. We know that.
Yeah.
We believe that. We live that. But he didn't say don't be prepared.
God is still in control, but bad things happen to good people.
Absolutely they do. It happened to everybody.
That's right.
And so, yeah, absolutely.
I can tell you right now, beyond the shadow of a doubt, I can bet you everything that I own. My wife's at home, and every door is locked.
Yeah.
I promise you.
So then I give you one that's not. So your wife's locking the door. Guess what? I go home. All the windows are open. The doors are unlocked. My wife is in a utopia world. She believes everybody's good. They have good intentions. And I have to live with that because I'm the opposite of that, right? When I get home here a little bit, every window, this is another little clue, every window shade will be shut. There'll be no, you'll not be able to see in my house. Why would that be? Why would I not want somebody to see in my house? They don't know what's going on. They can't see what's happening.
Yeah.
So I don't want them to be able to just look from the road and go, yeah, he's standing in the living room. So I lock all my shades down.
Right.
I've got sensors on every window of my house,
Yeah.
even bathroom windows. So I know
Right.
when it's open and closed.
Yeah.
But my wife will have everything open.
Yeah.
It's funny. Your wife have it all closed. My wife have everything open. She's lit. If she was listening right here, if it's live right now, she'd be laughing because she has the doors unlocked because she thinks everything's good in this life. She lives in a utopia world, as I call it.
Well, bless her heart.
I don't. I live in a real world. She lives in a made-up false world, I call it. But point being is different things.
I'm having flashbacks, right? Randy, remember the house that Carol and I used to live in? It had a bar that I could sit at and do some work on my laptop, and you could see right through the kitchen, through the dining room, and out the big front window. And I'm sitting there, and I of course, have my gun with me. I didn't have it in a holster, but I had it laying right on the bar. And I saw this guy walk past the window. He come up, and we have a big glass door, and he rings the doorbell. I don't know who he is. So I get up, and I went over and punched the security code and took the alarm off system. And I walked to the front door, and I opened it up. Well, my gun's in my hand. I said, "Hi, how can I help you?" He goes, "I didn't mean to alarm you." I said, "I'm not alarmed." I said, "You're the one that rung my doorbell. What do you want?" You know, he goes, "Well, but I really didn't mean to alarm you." I said, "I'm not alarmed." And finally it dawned on me, he was referring to that I had my gun in my hand. I said, "Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not alarmed. This is standard procedure." That's exactly my quote. "This is standard procedure. I opened the door with my gun in my hand. I don't know you." He goes, "I'm your neighbor." I said, "Really?" I said, "I've never seen you before. What house do you live in?" He turned around and pointed to the one right across the cul-de-sac. Yeah. And he said, "That one."
He couldn't even talk.
No.
Poor guy. I was going to bring you some cookies, but forget you.
Yeah. Scared him to death.
And he said, I'm your neighbor." I said, "When did you move in?" He said, "Just a couple of days ago." And he said,
"Do you have some sugar?"
"Yeah." "Can I borrow a cup of sugar?" And I said, "Okay." Well, I knew those people had sold the house. I knew that he had moved in, or that someone was going to move in, but we were out of town that weekend when he moved in. And I don't even remember what the man wanted to talk about. Come to find out, this is the great part of the story. He was a Little Rock police officer.
Oh, my. That's even funnier.
I loved it because I'm standing here going, "This is standard procedure."
Oh, that was great. He's probably thinking, "Wow, where am I living?"
Yeah, you know, and I'm like, "Well, if you really want to see, you know, what kind of a neighborhood you're in, my next door neighbor next door to me, if you'd go in his garage and see the multiple gun safes that are in there, okay, I at least have mine hid, you know. I don't have them out in the garage."
That's good.
And so anyway, but you have to do certain things to keep yourself safe and to protect yourself and your family.
Absolutely.
You really do.
I got to ask a question.
Okay.
This is how I know if you're too extreme or not.
Oh.
You'll appreciate this question. My wife still is aggravated about me. So when you go to the bathroom, do you have a weapon? That's how you know if you're too extreme or not.
I can't say that I do.
You have a weapon in the bathroom.
No, not at this time.
Okay.
Are you saying that I should?
Yes, you should. When I'm saying at my house, there's a weapon in everywhere. And that's when I know you've gone to extreme points when it's a weapon.
So what did I say last time we had a guy on? I said, "If you're going to get me, you're going to get me in the swimming pool or the shower."
There you go. There you go.
Remember?
Yeah.
Right.
And the guy that was our guest, Nathan, the concealed weapons guy that was on with us, he said, "I have a swimming pool gun." Remember that?
Yeah.
He
I can
did.
see it.
He really did.
Absolutely.
So I have let my guard down, and I need to go buy. I told him, I said, I've thought about buying a Glock because, you know, they're made with so much plastic, you know, that I could put it in the bottom of the pool and come raising up and start shooting.
You keep one under your sink, you know, in your bathroom.
Oh, okay. There we go.
You know, there's a safety tip because you get in your house and you're there by yourself and somebody breaks in and your weapon's on the other side of the house. How does that look for you?
Yeah, I'm never that far from it, or one of them. I have multiple weapons throughout the house. That
good for you.
Depends on where
you are.
Yeah.
I got you.
I will talk to one little old lady. She lived out in the country, and she goes, "I keep a gun in every room." She goes, because I never know what room I'm going to be in that I have to shoot you, so I keep one in every room. I love it. A friend of mine, his mom. So, well, are there any parting thoughts on safety, security, anything that you would like to give our listeners, or anything?
Well, maybe two things.
Okay.
One thing is the sky's not falling.
Yeah.
But be prepared. Mentally prepared and be prepared.
Right.
Yeah. The world is not the safe place it used to be,
no,
and we need to be mentally prepared. And number two, when we travel, and I didn't really talk about this a lot earlier, but when we travel, I like to travel. I go overseas. I go overseas a lot. I'm traveling hopefully to Philippines this year again. But you're traveling somewhere on vacation with your family. That's not a time to let your guard down. That's a time to have your guard up.
Right.
And I'm not saying you have to hire G6 because, I mean, that's not cheap. You can do your protection yourself. But I would have my protection points. I take my weapons anywhere in the United States. They go with me.
Okay.
I have a vest that goes with me everywhere I go.
Okay.
You can pack your stuff on a plane. You can pack your gun on a plane. Everybody can do that. You got to be careful what airport you're getting off of. They'll get kind of squirrely on you. But you can put your gun on. You can pack it. So take your stuff with you. Be ready on vacation. Have your alert up because you don't want to be somewhere where you know what's going on where you're going. You know, go to Florida to the beach.
Yeah.
I want to know what's going on down there.
Right.
Research it.
Mm-hmm.
I get on these websites when I go overseas. I go to Homeland Security. What's the threat assessment going on there? Know what's going on. And but if you're scared and you want to be nervous, G6 can help you with that.
Yeah.
We'll go with you.
I know he wants to go to the beach with us.
I do. Let's go.
Let me ask you, how do you get a hold of you? Give us a promotion for you. How do you get a hold of you? You have a website or what?
You stand outside and holler, and I've got ears everywhere. No, I'm kidding. I'm just kidding. That's kind of scary. No, my phone number is the best way. I'm kind of like Tim Griffin on this. You know, Tim made it famous where he'd always give his phone number out, even before he is where he is today.
Yeah.
I remember when he first ran for office, I was there at his campaign. He gave his phone number out. He still does that to this day. And mine's 501-697-5809. You can call me at any time, any place, anywhere, and I'll answer that phone. That's the best way to get a hold of us is call that number. But, you know, we're always ready to help in any way we can. We volunteer to do things too, so not everything's paid. If we can help you in some way, please don't hesitate because we want to keep people safe. That's
so if they think they might have something coming up that they want a little extra security there and all that, instead of having to call the police and trying to work something out, and they say, okay, we'll send one person by tonight and do a drive-by, they can call you, and maybe you could have one or two of your officers or something there, correct?
Absolutely. We've done that quite often, believe it or not. Protection for ladies a lot with divorce scenarios and domestic violence and things. So, yes, absolutely.
What about stalkers? Do you ever have any of that situation where somebody has a stalker that you have to pay attention to?
2 in 5 years.
Wow.
2 in 5 years.
Wow.
Now, I think a lot of that has to do with the reason we don't have more of that is that you're pointing out is that people don't know that there's something out there to do that.
Mm-hmm.
I think if people knew that there was bodyguards still in play today that could help you with stalkers, could help you track them down. I can track people down. I'm pretty good at it. I can track people down, find out where they live. I can know what car they drive. I can pretty much know where they live in 15, 20 minutes in most cases. I can know where you narrow you down. And we offer that service. The problem is people just don't know about it.
Okay.
But yes, we've had 2 in 5 years that we've done stalker involved.
Okay.
And it was men, accused men stalking women.
Yeah.
So we'll let you know that up front. But yeah, I mean, the vacation thing is new for us. And that's a new push for us, but believe it or not, that's a big deal. It's a huge deal right now.
Yeah.
So,
Well, and somebody that's in a position of power, or maybe a wealthy type of person, if they go on vacation, that would be an easy hit. So I would see where they could afford to pay you and take you along, kind of a thing.
yeah,
And,
I mean,
Randy, you asked about getting a hold of him. If they want to go to g6-security.com, that's g6-security.com.
Yeah.
That actually is a nice looking website, and it does give a lot of information about you. That's how, when I first met you in the restaurant, that's where I went to first of all, after you gave me your card. And I sat and I looked at every page you had on there, and that's when I came over and visited with you.
Yeah, we tried our best to make that where you could just look at that website and get a really good idea of what we do.
Yeah, it is.
I worked really hard. I did that myself. I'm not even a tech guy. I work really hard to get the language and what we do. That way you can look on there and go, this is what they offer. So, yeah, I appreciate that.
And, Shawn's really happy to be on our podcast, Randy, and I'm just going to tell on him because after going to his office, and you and I go over there one day, did you notice I was wearing the ball cap you gave me?
I did. I'm fixing to put that out, yes.
All right. And before we leave,
there you go.
Here is a T-shirt from our podcast. We want to give that to you as a gift. Thank you for being on with us.
Appreciate
that.
And
but I am going to tell on him when I went in his door and I looked in a room. There was a junk room. I mean, it was just cluttered up with all kinds of stuff. And he was talking about his podcast room and kept pointing. And I'm like, that ain't no podcast room. No. That's a junk room.
Yeah.
He said, well, we went and bought equipment. We was going to start our own podcast. How many years ago?
Well, 5 years ago we started.
5 years ago.
Ain't done nothing.
Oh, my.
I would have to say that all the electronics are now obsolete. You need to buy new stuff, right?
Yes.
But anyway, he was going to start his own podcast. He goes, maybe this will inspire me being on y'all. So
most definitely. It's been a pleasure to be with you guys.
Well, and maybe this won't be your last time. We can have you back on if you have any good stuff to talk about. I mean, I enjoyed the story about the wedding. That's probably my number one, and then of course the New Orleans story.
Yeah. Costco.
And you gotta quit. You gotta quit telling us though. I can't talk about that on the air. Can't do that. So you got to come up with some other good stuff, because really the one that I really wanted you to talk about, you said, well, I can't give up anything. After it happens, you could come back on and talk about it, right?
We're talking about Haiti, right?
No, we're not talking about that one.
Oh,
I thought that was totally off limits.
No, I mean, we can talk a little bit about Haiti.
The one with the car.
Oh, the car.
Yeah.
Yes, I will. After we've done the job, I'll talk all about it.
Okay.
I just don't want to endanger our assets on the ground. So, see how professional that sounded? Assets on the ground.
We are professional around here.
I mean, I could talk about Haiti a little bit with you if you wanted to. I could tell you about that.
No,
I don't think your audience wants to hear about that,
because I would really want all the good stuff, and you ain't going to let them have the good stuff. So we'll leave with that. Well, folks, I hope you have enjoyed this show. Be sure and tell your friends and your family about us. We're wanting to grow our channels, whether it's video, whether it's podcast. We want you to know about it, and we want your friends and family to know about it. So be sure and let them know. Like, subscribe, put us in your library, and we're releasing more and more shows about different subjects and topics. So be sure and tell everybody you can and help us to grow. Hope you'll have a great day.